running is stupid. Like, running as exercise is stupid, but running as self-defense is like one of the stupidest things that I've ever heard. Now, when I say running is dumb as exercise, obviously I'm cool with sprinting. I think sprinting is really important, and really, when people talk about running for self-defense, they're talking about sprinting. Sprinting takes a lot of warming up. You know, if you just blast into a sprint cold, you tear your hamstring, roll your ankle. You know, like if you don't run, this is why it's dumb, because the people saying you should be running, they're saying it because you shouldn't be fighting. Because fighting is dumb, because you're pitting your physicality against theirs, and if they're a bigger, stronger attacker, that's dangerous. Running is an even more direct pitting of your physicality against someone else's, like even more so than fighting. It's always that same kind of like jackassy know-it-all type reply to like run foo or Nike dough, like some guy who wants to seem smarter in a subreddit or a Facebook group that's about fighting to say like, oh, you shouldn't fight, you should just run. Running is not usually the best choice or the first choice. Running is one of the worst ideas when it comes to self-defense. It's literally the shittiest, worst case scenario if running for your life is your answer. And I don't think the guys that say it can run very well. I don't think the type of person that when someone asks them for help about self-defense gets on and types like you should just run, that person probably can't run very fast. With fighting, you have like skill, your technique, and your knowledge, and your wiles. Running is just straight head-to-head horsepower. So you're talking about someone that you're too weak to physically fight, you're gonna outrun them. Make a list of the people that you can't beat up, and then make a list of the people that you can outrun. All right? There's not a lot of the same people on both those lists. And then when they do catch you because you got exhausted or you hurt yourself or you fell down or whatever, now you're exhausted. So now you've got this person that you couldn't beat up and you couldn't outrun, and now you've got to fight them somewhere where you didn't plan to be, well, completely gassed. Because you will be. Ask the average person to run 100 meters, right, as fast as they can, and check them out at the end. Every breath is going to be like fire. Your muscles will feel weak, your arms will feel heavy, everything sucks. And you might be thinking, what about adrenaline? Like, I'll be so like adrenalized I can get away from it. Dude, I've said before, you're not gonna rise to the occasion. You're not suddenly gonna become a world-class sprinter because you're a little bit scared. You'll run for a few seconds and you're untrained and deconditioned, then you'll fail, you'll fall apart. I'm by no means saying that running is never an option. But like all things, if you haven't trained at it, what makes you think that you will be good at it? All skills require practice. And you know, I mentioned before about technique. There's technique in sprinting. I'm by no means an expert at it. If I wanted to become an expert at sprinting, I would consult a coach or a teacher or a trainer. I would consult another expert. But the hubris to think that you are physically capable of either fighting a person off and then successfully running away, or trying to run away and then successfully fighting a person off without ever having done this is crazy. That's crazy to me. I can't understand how a person could think that way. If you want the sprint routine that I'm doing, it's real simple. I'll put it down there in the description below. Try to get rid of that. And to get rid of that, you gotta do this. You gotta put yourself in that fat burning zone. You don't need anybody. You don't even need to time yourself. just run your hardest. And after you've done it for a while, you feel like you have control over it, then you can start timing yourself and improving your skills at it. Violence is a scary thing. It makes sense that you would want to run from it. That jives with our instincts. But if you ask professional fighters, like people who do violence for a living and understand it intimately, they'll all tell you that getting hurt is not the scariest thing in the world. Getting choked out or knocked out or their arm broken, they're not afraid of that because they understand violence. They're afraid of getting tired. You ask any real fighter what his worst fear is during a fight, and it's gassing out. The only exception being like maybe soldiers or police officers in, violent areas. And they would probably tell you that one of their worst fears is being caught alone without backup. So if the two groups of people who understand violence better than anyone don't think that getting hurt or beat up or even killed is the scariest part, getting tired and being alone are the scariest parts. That's what you need to work on. And that's an easy fix. You just find people to train with. You don't have to train in combat sports or become a kung fu master or a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You just need to be fitter and stronger. That ups your chances of survival right away. And if you're doing that with people, that increases your chances of survival even more. And if you want more fitness tips, self-defense techniques, gear reviews, as well as concepts and principles that make you hard to hurt, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications.